Okay, just to start off, my name is Andrew Johnson, and I'm the National Sales Manager for MG Motor Ireland, which is a new car brand that has entered into the Irish market. A lot of you guys would have known them from in the UK, where they sell both EVs and ICE vehicles. The Irish market is only an EV market, and we won't be bringing in any ICE vehicles from MG, so you'd be glad to hear. We're part of the Frank Keane Holdings Group, which employs over 300 people here in Ireland. And part of the group, we're separated into two elements, I suppose. We have a distribution company and we have a retail side. So if I just start with the retail side, most of them I'm sure will know kind of Frank Keane BMW, which is on the Nace Road in Blackrock. We Frank Keane Volkswagen in both Liffey Valley and Dean's Grange. And we've recently appointed MG as a retail store as well. On the distribution side, we have Fuso Trucks, we have Mitsubishi, and we now have acquired MG. So to just go through a brief background, the company would have started as the BMW distributor in Ireland back in 1967. In 1984, it took on the Mitsubishi, which evolved then into Fuso Trucks franchise as well, where we've continued to distribute those products throughout Ireland. Last year, then we were appointed MG distributors. We've great experience of EVs within the group, both from a retail and from the distribution side. On the distribution side, on the Fuso, we've just launched the first electric 7.5 ton truck, which has now gone onto Irish trucks. You'll see on Post driving some of those around. Fingal County Council have taken some as well. So it's really starting to kind of gather pace. There's also a new grant there as well, which is going to really push sales for us. So in terms of Mitsubishi, obviously there was the Outlander as well, which is probably the most successful PHEV in the world. But obviously then Mitsubishi decided then to freeze all new models coming into Europe. So I suppose that's why we jumped with MG to bring in a new brand. If models are going to be frozen with Mitsubishi, we have to obviously sell something. So the opportunity arose. We went after it and we were successful in getting it. So when we looked at the figures, and Simon has gone through many of these figures already, it was a no-brainer for us to take on a brand with so much EV offerings in it. So you can see we predict for EVs to double. Last year was in around 4,000 units. We predict EVs this year to double to 8,000 units. So massive growth. And again, there's just going to be a continued growth for forever really now. So we can't kind of see that the days of an ICE vehicle will end and it will all move to EVs. Like at the moment, I had a look there this morning and there was 3,035 EVs registered, not including light commercials registered this year compared to 4,013 last year. So it's really ramping up now. And PHEVs, as you said as well, Simon, there's huge growth in the PHEV market this year. That's going to more than double this year. But we do think it will slow down now that the SEI grant will have from July onwards. We do see that starting to slow down in the second half of the year, and we can even predict that the SEI grant will go fully on PHEVs. But it's the real growth is going to be in full EVs. So we launched MG to the public in December of last year, and we appointed a dealer network of kind of really big names around the country. So we've 6 sites. We've Linders and Frank Keane, as I mentioned before, in Dublin. We've Colm Hamley in Tipperary, Johnson & Perrott in Cork, and then Shields Galway and Shields Limerick. They're big dealers with a good reputation, and that was very important to us. With a new brand coming into the market, it was important that we appointed big name dealers to sell our product. So we launched with the ZS EV, and it has really good success for us to date. It's a little bit hard, obviously, when we launched in December. We obviously went into a lockdown shortly afterwards, so our showrooms haven't been fully open, but yet we've still been able to sell remotely. So we've had good success. Part of I suppose, our pillars, and when we're selling MG vehicles, there's 3 pillars, and that is style, spec, and then price. So the vehicles are priced really, really well, but First and foremost, they look really well, and there's a huge amount of spec in them as well. In the MG ZS, there's an MG Pilot feature as well, which has tons and tons of safety features, which we feel is a very, very competitive offering in what's become a very populated segment of the market. Another important factor as well is our warranty. We offer a 7-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty, which is a really, really good warranty. And again, because it's a new brand, it was very important to us to give customers peace of mind. So again, they're just some of the features of the ZS. And again, we feel that you shouldn't need to compromise on spec when the price point is so good. So we feel it's a very good package between spec, style, and price. So now we have MG5. I'll be honest, MG5 is a little bit of an unknown factor for us. And Simon mentioned in his presentation that most vehicles are all SUVs, whereas this is a sports wagon. So it's really going against the grain of what's there in the market. So it's a bit of an unknown quantity for us, but we haven't really kind of officially launched it. The vehicles are actually due to land into the country this week. We have had pre-sold units, but what's really helping here now is the new taxi grant. We've seen a huge amount of inquiries coming through now from taxi drivers looking to purchase the vehicle because of the new grants there. So it's really starting now to take off for us. But it's not just for taxi drivers either. We have a lot of people inquiring about the vehicle as well, say with dogs or bikes, because of the space in it. It's huge capacity, and then the range of the vehicle as well, with a 345 kilometer range, which is 52.5 kilowatt battery. It's a really, really good range of vehicle, and the price of the vehicle is really, really competitive. Starting at just over 27,500 euros. It's excellent value for money. So again, it's just spec again, and again, even though the price is at 27,500 euros, there's no compromise in spec either. There's lots and lots of features in the vehicle, and lots of cool stuff. So yeah, definitely, we think it's going to do really well. So our third vehicle is a PHEV. It's the MG HS. It comes with a 16.6 kilowatt battery, coupled with a 1.5 turbo petrol engine, sorry, I should say. It's a D segment size. Again, has tons of spec. This vehicle has a very premium feel about it, and it's been really, really well received in dealerships. It's one of those vehicles, I suppose, that it's only going to have a very short shelf life. I think PHEVs, as we discussed in earlier, it's not going to be. It's more of a transitional vehicle before kind of more EVs then come into the market again. But again, starting price from 33,150, and obviously we've had great experience with our Outlander. The price is really, really keen when you compare it to something like the Outlander. And again, tons and tons of spec again, but I just emphasize it's a real premium feel, this car, which would be slightly different than, say, to the ZS. A lot of you guys would have seen the Marvel R, and a lot of people got really excited about the Marvel R. Unfortunately, bad news is it won't be coming to Irish shores. There's a different product plan in MG for left-hand drive and right-hand drive markets. So the Marvel R is not a vehicle that's destined to come here. Now that could change in the future, but right now there's no plans to bring in the Marvel R. Looks really, really nice, and we would love to have it, but it's just not going to be produced in right-hand drive. So it's not for us. There is a design centre for the European market. It's in London, so they are designing cars here for the European market. So you would have seen the E-Motion and the Cyberstar. So they're all being designed out of the London office. Again, they're only concept cars. We've no official time frame to come. It's the parent company SIAC, who, as you'll know, are a Chinese company. There is plans to expand the EV range into Europe and in right-hand drive, but at the moment we've no launch of the E-Motion or the Cyberstar. I can say that we will be offering a new B segment car, and that will come probably towards the end of the year or start of next year, and it will compete with something maybe like the Renault Zoe. So we will be providing details on that later in the year. And then after that, then there is a product lineup come to Ireland as well, but it will be all EVs. So exciting times for the brand. We're really looking forward to it, and yeah, we really feel that the EV market is now starting to explode, and we feel that MG will hopefully get a good bit of the action of it. So we have our usual social media channels, so keep in touch with us. We want to stay engaged with the market, so any questions at all, feel free to contact us, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have. And that's everything from my side. Thank you very much.